Let's assume there are two traders. Let's assume that both of them started with the same account. Both of them trade the E-mini futures, and both of them ended up with 5 contracts in the marketplace. So the first guy made 3 trades. Let's say that is the professional one, or more experienced. Let's say he entered with 3 contracts. Not 3 trades, but he entered with 3 contracts. And then he added another contract, and then he added another contract, and now he has 5. Let's say that there is an amateur trader, and as you know, amateurs or beginners, I should say, make the mistake of adding money to losing positions. Let's say they started with 3 contracts, the market started going against them, and they ended with adding another market as they're adding money to losing positions, and then they added another one, so now they have 5. So basically you have 2 traders who did the exact same actions, and one of them, the professional ones and the experienced one, what he did, we call it scaling in, right? Because sometimes you can scale in as the price improves, and then you have a beginner who's starting to add money to losing positions. So the question is, what is really the difference between the two, right? On the surface, both of them basically ended up with 5 contracts, both the beginner and the professional. So why did they call one of them a trader who's experienced and is scaling in, and they call the amateur guy the guy who adds money to losing position? Well, the difference is pre-planning. It means that the experienced trader, his intention was to go in with 3 contracts, and he pre-planned his entries. So he entered first with 3, then with another one, then with another one. The amateur, on the other hand, did the same action, but he only entered those prices and never planned to add money or scale in. And what he did, he basically relied on spontaneous decisions of adding another contract and then feeling, well, the price can go lower from here, which it always does, and then they add another one, right? So essentially the first person, who's the experienced person, who's the experienced trader, he basically had a plan to enter that way. When you have a plan to enter that way, you also know where you want to exit the trade, whether it makes you money or not. And the person who added contracts spontaneously, if the market came back and started going in his direction, most likely he will exit at a break-even point with a sigh of relief. So again, the pre-planning makes all the difference in the world. And that is really my point. Now, not every situation out there you can pre-plan. I get it. There's a lot of surprises sometimes. There will be things that happen in the market that you didn't anticipate, and that's part of risk. There's nothing you can do. Part of trading the markets is truly encountering at times risk that nobody anticipated. That goes beyond the disclaimer of past performance is not indicative of future results. It really means that there could be something out there that entails a huge level of risk that nobody even considered. So, having said that, let's go to pre-planning. Pre-planning will make a lot of difference in your approach and your day-to-day. If you pre-plan your trades, so for example, if you sit the night before and you're thinking about the markets that will occur tomorrow and how you will react, that's pre-planning. Where you're going to enter, where you're going to exit, and so forth, right? Now, things will happen that, again, you did not anticipate, but the price levels could be reached, right? How fast they get there, how slow they get there, that's a different story. We don't know the future. But again, you can pre-plan what to do when the price gets there. On the other hand, if you don't pre-plan and every day is basically a new beginning and a new start, then you're leaving a lot of room for spontaneous reactions, a lot of room for intuition, a lot of room for overwhelming amount of feelings that will take over when those things occur. And basically there will be judgment calls of whether it's overbought or oversold. Again, not based on anything that happened in the past, but just on today's reaction. So again, pre-plan everything. That's really the goal of avoiding anything that relies on emotions. Now, if somebody says, I don't use emotions at all in my trading, that's impossible. It's impossible. We're humans, we're made out of certain chemicals, we have a DNA, but being conscious of all those things, this is why people pre-plan, because they know the weakness that can take over during a certain period when the market is volatile. So there's so many ways that you can pre-plan. Pre-planning can happen, at the end of a trading session, where you can say, okay, if I'm going to trade the overnight session, if the market reopens at a certain level, this is what I'm going to do. You just think about it, right? And if the market gaps down, you say, maybe I shouldn't touch it. If it goes up too much, maybe, you don't want to go short. So basically, based on the action in the market, you'll decide what you want to do, whether to go long or to go short. You can, if you decided to trade and finish when the day session ends, which is a good idea many times, give your brain a break. Let's say the next day you start. Again, the day before you could start thinking about how am I going to behave if those prices getting hit. And that action in itself will, in my personal opinion, could potentially save you a lot of money. You can think about the number of trades that you can take, meaning the number of contracts that you hold, whether you want to trade the large S&P or the micro S&P. Then you think about the exit plan, meaning that if this price occurs, I want to get out, with a profit, or you think about the risk management if the trades don't go in your favor. And basically that should make you a little bit colder, which you should be, about trading. So again, this is just a short podcast just to emphasize the importance of pre-planning your trades, and pre-planning will basically make all the difference in the world, knowing where you want to go get in and knowing where you want to get out. Just a reminder that there's a substantial risk of loss in futures trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and trade only with risk capital. Don't risk capital that you cannot afford to lose. If now it's not the right time for you to trade futures, wait a little bit, accumulate your risk capital, and continue then. That's it for now. I wish you a good day, and I wish you a great week, and I'll see you on the next podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.